fundamentally, when we talk about context in an industrial setting, what exactly are we talking about?
Yeah. Okay. Well, look, I come from it maybe from a different angle. I Before I went into uh, the real world, I was an academic, and I was very much a social scientist. I was interested, and I came much more from a sociological, social anthropological aspect and philosophy, where we looked at things such as ontology and epistemology in a very different way. But really, for me, that has informed my understanding of context. For me, context is something that we do using language, and we understand things through the relationships of words with other words, and we build meaning through a combination of words that are linked together in a certain way. Um, those words are used to represent the world, the physical world, but also the abstract world. So, who's Kudzai? Where's he from? Who are his parents? What sport does he play? You know, all of that is context. And we build that context through conversation, through narratives that form in our head. When we look at things such as data, people begin with metadata and data ontology, and they make it very simple. They say, look, we're going into defining these raw tags. We're going to define the name. We're going to give some metadata definitions. I'm going to give some basic data ontology, and you are good to go. My view is you're not good to go. That's not how it works. And OT data is probably the most difficult data to bring to that language of words where we can build coherent narratives about what's happening. If you look at other sources of data, business data, you already have a lot more words that create that early meaning. For raw OT data, where you're looking at sensors and states and temperatures and things like that, you actually have to do a whole lot of work to build that context. And so my view of context is the ability to understand what a data point does, what it relates to, and what it can mean. And that what it can mean can be a whole lot of things. One data point could mean something a whole lot different for a supply chain person than a production manager, than a reliability engineer. They have their own language, they have their own esoteric codified connections between how things work together. And so for me, context has to be that broad. Another point is that context isn't something that we just start with and we know everything. Context is learned, right? It's learned through call and response, question, answers. Okay, so what are you telling me? Oh, okay, right. Okay, so that would relate to. When we are doing that, conversationally, we are building context. And that context then has to be imparted back into that data layer.